Next thing, please get out your periodic table if you don't already have that in front of you. I hope that you labeled your group 1 alkalis and your group 2 alkalines. The next part of the periodic table is called the transition elements. So in your color-coded periodic table, you should have labeled group 1, group 2. This part down here is the transition elements. And those numbers are important because they tell us how many valence electrons everything in that group has. So everything in group 1 has 1 valence electron, everything in group 2 has 2 valence electrons. We're going to skip the transition elements for 9th grade when we talk about chemical bonding, but the groups over at the end where the periodic table goes back up, those are going to become important in 9th grade chemical bonding. So you should probably, if you labeled all of these, this should actually be 13, 14, 15 on yours, but above 13, please put a big giant number 3. Above 14, put a big giant number 4. Above 15, put a big giant number 5. Same thing for the next 3 groups. So group 18 has a full valence shell or full octet of 8 electrons. That's why it doesn't bond with anything else ever. When we look at all the atoms in group 7, they need 1 electron to have a full octet. So everything in this group will tend to make bonds with the things in this group because together they have 8. Together, everything in group 6, when it bonds with the things in group 2, together they'll have a full octet as well. So that, the elements in this group tend to bond with the elements in group 7. The elements in group 2 tend to bond with the elements in group 6 to get that stable octet. And the exception here is, of course, hydrogen and helium, because when helium has 2 valence electrons, it has a full stable shell. So it's kind of like a weird exception to our octet rule. And please make sure that you have labeled your noble gases. I think I already said that, but make sure that you label that they are stable on your periodic table. For most of these elements, a full octet is, of course, 8, but for helium, it has a full valence shell with just 2 electrons. Next, we're going to quickly begin our homework. So this page, please put your name on the front cover because we're not going to finish it all at once. On the back of the front cover, please circle, highlight, or underline these important parts. This part is, of course, referring the 8 outer ring the outer ring electrons is, of course, the valence electrons, and 8 is stable, as we said. Here they're going to review with you about the staircase, which I forgot to mention. The staircase separates our metals from our non-metals. Everything above the staircase is a non-metal, and everything to the left or below the staircase is a metal. So most of the things on the periodic tables are metals, with the exception of hydrogen, element number 1. So up here, we're actually going to cross out all this KLM business and not even worry about that. We're just going to look at the valence electrons. So the information that's given to us here that we need is just really the atomic number. The atomic number, hopefully it's easier to read on yours, of this element is 11. That means it has 11 total protons. That's what atomic number means, which means that a neutral atom of this element has 11 electrons as well. You see that the first 2 electrons are sitting in the front row, VIP. The next 8 all fit on the second row, so 2 plus 8 is 10, but this has 11, so that means that it has just 1 valence electron on this sodium atom. The other element over here is chlorine. Again, you don't need to worry about any of that stuff. We just need to know that chlorine has an atomic number of 17 total protons. Positive protons is balanced out by 17 negative electrons. The first 2 are here, the next 8 are here, that's 10. Our last 7 are all valence electrons, and they sit in the outermost shell. So the questions below, where it's asking about 1 valence electron, 7 valence electrons, do you see how together they would make 8? So this is a ionic bond, where this one electron gets transferred to these 7 and a stable octet is formed between a metal and a non-metal. That should help you finish that first page of homework. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for listening and have a beautiful day.